Welcome to video 12.7d. Rotate a segment in three-dimensional space. Here's example 3. Segment AB has endpoints 0, 3, 0 and point B 0, 0, 8. Describe the spatial figure obtained by rotating that segment about the z-axis and then again about the y-axis. Before we do this problem, let's talk about three-dimensional space. So here are the three axes. It's a right-handed coordinate system. You use your right hand and you form it like this. Your pointer is the x-axis, your middle finger is the y-axis, and your thumb is the z-axis. Notice that on paper it's hard to draw because paper is a two-dimensional thing where space is three-dimensional. Okay, so the x-axis comes out towards you, the y-axis goes to the right, and the z-axis goes up. Positive is out, right, and up. Negative would be back into the board. Negative y would be the left, and negative z would be downwards. In 2 dimensions, we got 4 quadrants. In 3 dimensions, we've got 8 octants. The first octant is where everybody is positive. Primarily, we'll be dealing with that. All right, so as far as coordinates now will have an x, y, and a z component. And it goes in order, x, y, z, x, y, z. And the way that you plot points is you start at the origin. First, you go the x coordinate. From there, you go to whatever the y coordinate is. From there, you go to whatever the z coordinate is. Okay, so let's see if we can first plot this in three-dimensional space and then rotate it and describe the resulting figure. All right, so we've got 0, 3, 0. For point A, we're going to start the origin, go 0 along the x-axis. Remember, the x-axis is coming out towards us. Go 3 in the y direction, and then go 0 up. So that's going to be point A right there. For point B, start at the origin, go 0 in the x direction, go 0 in the y direction, and go 8 in the z direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that'll be point B. Then we'll connect the two, and that's the segment that we're talking about. Okay, now we're going to rotate it about the z-axis. Again, I want to emphasize rotating about the z-axis. So here's my segment. Again, this is the z-axis. I prefer if we reflect it about the axis. So if we were to reflect it, it would look something like this over here. Notice with a segment, we're just going to be, when we rotate it, we're going to be obtaining a shell of a cone. However, for our purposes, we can say you obtain a cone. Okay, so again, if we were to rotate this, notice we would get a shell of a cone. If you want to better visualize it, hopefully you can see it's just like this. Okay, so I'm going to say it's a cone, or you could say the shell of a cone. The radius would be those 3 units, and the height would be those 8 units. And that's for the first part. Now we're going to do the same thing, except rotate about the y-axis. Okay, so I'll erase all this. So here's the y-axis. So what I'm going to do is take my segment, and to rotate it about the y-axis, I'm just going to reflect it to help me better visualize it. It's going to be something like that. Hopefully you can again see we're going to get a cone. It's going to be the shell of a cone, but we're going to call it a cone. To help you better visualize it, we can take this and just rotate about the y-axis. And hopefully you can see we're going to get that cone shaped. In this case, the cone will have a radius of 8 and a height of 3. So it's going to be a cone, radius of 8, height of 3. And there you have it, how to rotate a segment in three-dimensional space and get shells, or as we're going to call them, solid figures.